I'm Steve Matthews. Coming up later in the show on Monitor on Stage, a bunch of stuff today. On this International Women's Day, Cat Stevens refuses to speak to female news reporters. He will only tell his story to men of the media. George Thorogood's tour is canceled due to an unexpected crisis. Madonna and LaToya Jackson get into a dandy little cat fight. Pepsi Cola is eyeballing the Rolling Stones as possible spokespersons, and a former artistic director of the Stratford Festival is in stable condition in hospital. We have stories today on Bob Marley, UB40, Sybil Shepherd, David Crosby, and on the new release rack, fresh tunes from Simply Red. This and more at 1:15 on Monitor on Stage.
FM presents Crowded House, Wednesday, March 15th, 8 p.m. at Alumni Hall. The world where you live. Listen to FM 96 for your chance to win free tickets, cassettes, and a free limo ride to and from the show. Crowded House, March 15th at Alumni Hall. Something so strong from London's Rock, FM 96.
And now, Monitor on Stage. Taking the spotlight with all that entertains, your host, Steve Matthews.
Good afternoon. When Cat Stevens supported the Ayatollah's death warrant on British author Salman Rushdie, we got the story from comments Cat Stevens made to his Muslim students in England. Now the former pop star has spoken again, this time to reporters, and again he is endorsing Khomeini's call for Rushdie's death. Cat Stevens, now known as Yusuf Islam, talked to reporters in England.
It was relayed to apparently the ulama, the learned scholars, including Ayatollah Khomeini, and he made the judgment. After I heard that judgment, I said, is that right? And I started studying the subject myself, and it's the first time I actually thought about it. And when I studied it, I found that, yes, the evidence is all there.
Cat Stevens says Rushdie sealed his own fate when he wrote the Satanic Verses.
Unfortunately, he has been irresponsible with his freedom of speech. Salman Rushdie, or indeed any writer who abuses prophet, or indeed any prophet, under Islamic law, the sentence for that is actually death.
He sees the Satanic Verses as an attack on all Muslims.
As far as the Muslim community is concerned, it's as good as stabbing Muslims in the heart with the words which were used against our beloved Prophet, peace be upon him, and indeed against other prophets in the book.
And with International Women's Day being observed today, it's interesting to note Cat Stevens, also known as Yusuf Islam, would not speak to women reporters. Only men are allowed to speak to him because of his position within the Islamic faith. Bob Marley left the planet almost 8 years ago, but his family's still here fighting over his estate. And it appears that that fight is now over. An appeals court in Jamaica has ordered Marley's estate to be sold for $8.6 million. The purchaser is the New York-based Island Recording Company. That is the label that Marley recorded for while he was alive. Marley's widow, Rita, and lawyers for his 11 children had argued that the price was too low and appealed earlier approval of the sale by the estate's administrator, a Kingston bank. But the judge upheld the sale and ordered Island to pay for the estate at once, not over the 10-year period as proposed originally. Yes, there is big money in reggae music. Just ask the members of UB40.
Britain's multiracial chart-topping reggae group UB40 have bought themselves a Caribbean island for $500,000. They're calling their island, just south of Jamaica, Slice of Toast, and the 8-man group will turn the place into a holiday camp for their entourage of 50, including permanent crew members, management staff, and their wives, girlfriends, and children. Not bad for a band which was living on supplementary handout benefit payments from the state 10 years ago and have since played groundbreaking concerts behind the Iron Curtain and in Africa. Jonathan Ashby, ABC News, London.
George Thorogood has canceled his North American tour because of an unexpected personal crisis. His publicist, David Budge, won't say whether the problem is with Thorogood or with one of the members of his band, the Delaware Destroyers.
Hopefully the problem will be resolved in the coming weeks and the tour can be rescheduled for later this year. George Thorogood extends his apologies and sincerely regrets the fact that he is unable to perform, and he is looking forward to making up the concert dates at a later time.
Budge also denies rumors of a drug or health problem.
Absolutely untrue. George Thorogood is in excellent health, and the reasons for the postponement of this tour are not health-related in any way whatsoever to George.
On the new release rack, the third LP from Simply Red. Mick Hucknall and his bandmates are back with a new flame. All but one of the songs is new, and the album's only cover version is an excellent choice for Mick Hucknall's voice. He sings the old Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes tune, If You Don't Know Me By Now. And Hucknall also teams up with former Motown writer Lamont Dozier on a couple of songs on A New Flame. Dozier used to work with the Holland Brothers at Motown, and they were responsible for dozens of hits by the Four Tops and the Supremes. Dozier also picked up a Grammy this year.
With Four Tops fans now 40-something, Lamont Dozier finds himself much in demand among a contemporary crop of musicians.
They want that hook that they say I'm known for from the 60s. And it's thanks to yuppies and people like that, they've kept what I do alive for the past 25, 30 years.
The new Simply Red album displays Lamont Dozier's handiwork. He's paired again with Phil Collins on his upcoming solo project, and he's been working with Steve Perry of Journey. Mark Shearer, ABC News.
Can you picture Mick Jagger singing Let's Split a Pepsi Together, or say something like It's Only Pepsi Cola and I like it, yes I do? Well, the Hollywood Reporter, which is a trade paper, says Pepsi Cola is hot and thirsty to sign the Rolling Stones as its next media representatives. The reporter says there's only one major problem with the idea. Pepsi isn't sure how to deal with the Stones' bad boy image. Pepsi still hasn't said how it will deal with its Madonna problem. Pepsi has pulled its ads featuring Madonna from TV stations in the U.S., but as for the Canadian head office of Pepsi, it says it's in the business of selling soft drinks, not censoring artists, and it won't pull its Madonna ads off the air in this country. And Much Music has decided that it will play the new Madonna video, despite the fact that it offends some Christian groups. You know, it's almost like Madonna's publicity people have tried to generate as much media coverage as possible, good and bad, to coincide with the release of her new album. Yet another spicy little Madonna story has found its way to us. In the latest edition of Rolling Stone magazine, which just happens to have Madonna's picture on the cover, Madonna accuses LaToya Jackson of doing the Playboy layout out of desperation for her failing career as a singer. Madonna adds that LaToya must have had a major breast job done. LaToya responds by saying, Madonna is not a lady, never was, and never will be. And as for Madonna's ex, he's found a replacement. USA Today says Sean Penn introduced his new girlfriend as the new Mrs. Penn to Robert De Niro. She's a 20-year-old secretary named Angelica Terry. Billy Idol admits he's been a bad boy in the past, but he won't put up with what he calls false reports about him at a charity function.
Billy Idol has done some outrageous things in his day, but not this time, he swears. Idol is suing Britain's News of the World for running a story accusing him of vulgar and indecent behavior in front of a group of handicapped kids at a benefit. Fundraiser chairman, however, sides with Idol, calling the charges outrageous lies.
You know, the government says we should wash all our fruits and vegetables 2 to 3 minutes with detergent.
That's part of a PSA Meryl Streep has taped to focus attention on health concerns about pesticides. Streep held a news conference in Washington to announce the formation of a group aimed at reducing pesticide use. She was extremely nervous facing reporters. Compared to that, she said in an interview later, even the prospect of filming her first comedy with Roseanne Barr no longer phases her.
I have no qualms about anything after this experience. A press conference in Washington just it's a bath by fire, so I'm cool about everything else. I will follow him.
Remember little Peggy March? Not little anymore. She turns 41 today. I'm like a Weinfeld.
Off the record today, one of the members of CSNNY.
The harmonies of David Crosby, Stephen Stills, and Graham Nash, occasionally joined by Neil Young, sold millions of albums in the 70s. They recorded the classic Deja Vu, but by the time a live album was released, the quartet had broken up. They're back together with American Dream, the first album David Crosby recorded straight.
It is the first record I've made straight. It was great. It was great. I have a lot more attention span. I don't spend half the time in the bathroom. It's much cheaper. I have the ability to concentrate. You know, I can work at a job of, you know, mixing something or working in the studio and stay with it 2 or 3 hours and not have a problem with, you know, drifting off and getting sidetracked. And I really enjoy it. My energy is much higher, and frankly, you know, the creative part of it is the real difference. Towards the end of the time that I was addicted, I didn't create anything. I wasn't capable of it. Now, you know, stories come to me, you know, and stories come to me, and things, you know, I feel like creating stuff.
David Crosby, off the record.
When Monitor on Stage continues, a chat with Sybil Shepherd, and a former artistic director from the Stratford Festival is in hospital.
6.
Welcome back to Monitor on Stage. One of the Stratford Festival's recent artistic directors is in hospital in Toronto. 58-year-old John Hirsch is in stable condition, but the nature of his illness is not being released. He's generally been in good health in the past and has recently been working with the Canadian Stage Company. Hirsch was the associate artistic director at Stratford in the late 60s and then came back to be the artistic director for the festival between 1981 and 1986. Here's something to think about if you watch Professor Philip Rushton's appearance on the Geraldo Rivera show later today. The granddaddy of network TV news says journalists are getting better than ever, but Walter Cronkite says the media is endangered by the tabloid-style TV news formats. Cronkite says he's concerned about the garbage that is masquerading as television these days. And if you'd like to see some of that so-called garbage-style TV today, UWO Professor Philip Rushton's appearance on Geraldo airs at 4 this afternoon on cable and 7 o'clock tonight on TV London. The host of TV's Jeopardy thinks his fellow Canadians aren't very exciting. Alex Trebek says Canadians aren't natural TV performers because they're too laid back, not exuberant enough. But he says his show is pretty good at firing people up, even Canadians. He was in Vancouver this week looking for Jeopardy contestants. Sybil Shepherd has no problem with jumping back and forth between TV and the big screen movies. She says it doesn't matter what the medium is, as long as she works with the right combination of people.
Sybil Shepherd says she found herself taking chances in her new movie, Chances Are. She plays a widow whose late husband is reincarnated as a younger man. But the younger man bit isn't what bothered her.
Playing an older woman, I mean, I was sort of playing myself. There are a lot of people that are men that are younger than me, and that I'm 39 now. So it, as far as relating to a younger man, that was hasn't been a problem for me.
Shepherd says what was harder for her was coming to grips with the vulnerability in her character.
It was a lot of extreme of emotion, like finding who you think is your mate again after 23 years. It's a very emotional thing. I'm not real comfortable showing that emotion in person as Sybil Shepherd. And hopefully I can maybe learn to be more comfortable with my emotion as a person.
As far as regaining her own youth, Shepherd says forget it. She says she'd never want to relive her early 20s. I'm Mary Lyon in Hollywood.
1 Adam 12, 1 Adam 12. There's a Code 4 happening in Nashville. The two original stars of Adam 12, Kent McCord and Martin Milner, are getting back together in a TV movie. No, they won't be working the old L.A. beat and the old black and white. Instead, they'll be working as detectives in a new movie called The Nashville Beat. Milner is to portray an old-fashioned chief of detectives who recruits McCord, who is a hip undercover cop from Los Angeles. And that's it for Monitor on Stage. I'm Steve Matthews.
And I'm John Wilson. Thanks to Steve Matthews, Rick Jefferson, Don Ambrose, and all our Monitor staff. And now, Monitor.